right, Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka spoke on a conference call today and said, quote, "For us, anything short of a championship is not success." Dave, is it title or bust for the Lakers, who haven't been to the playoffs in 6 years?
I mean, LeBron James is about stacking rings. He's at 3. If he wants to try to get further into the conversation with the all-time greats, another one would be helpful. But to me, this is putting the cart in front of the horse. It's setting up expectations for failure. I don't understand the strategy behind this quote from our boy Rob.
Well, look, a couple years ago, Lonzo Ball joins the Lakers, and Magic Johnson says his jersey is going to be in the rafters. I want him to break all my records. And I think the takeaway from that was maybe like chill on the expectations, maybe set that bar just a little bit lower, which they did last year. They said, this isn't the year that we're really
just
going
want to make
forward.
the playoffs, they said.
Just want to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Right, but things had also gotten so low to the point where you wondered, why did you leverage all this stuff to begin with if you weren't even going to try to be in the realm of winning championships? And at least they're back to a point where I think you can reasonably have a conversation where if somebody brings up the Lakers in the finals, you're not laughing them off the street, which is where we were at the end of last season when the entire franchise was cratered, hello, for the moves they made. So I think that they're at least in a space where they're within earshot of something that makes sense in terms of a championship, whereas before, that wasn't even close to real.
As far as a PR strategy goes, no. This is probably not the way I would have gone at it, but I believe what Pelinka is trying to get across, which is the Lakers better win right now. And they better win it all because you've got LeBron at the age he's at. You're unsure on exactly what AD is going to do after next season, although it feels like he's going to stay. The pieces are in place for them to make the run in the moment. You are setting expectations up way too high given what's already occurred in the last couple seasons. But if I'm a Lakers fan, this is what I want to hear because this is a team that I feel like has a legit chance with a rejuvenated LeBron and AD pairing and assuming that the rest of the pieces can work the way the Lakers hope.
I actually kind of like it. I
hate it.
It's kind of like insulting to people to pretend like, oh, we're just okay with making the playoffs. You traded for Anthony Davis. You gave away your entire future. Like they don't have a draft pick for they have their own a couple of times, but the Pelicans basically controlled the Lakers draft for the next six seasons. So don't pretend that you didn't just go all in. They did own it and lean into it. And you gave LeBron what he wanted.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you brought LeBron. What else did you bring LeBron for if at some point you weren't going to be able to make a realistic statement that, hey, the title is what we're going for? At least we're there. We're marginally there. And that, to me, Pelinka for even saying that, I think it takes some stones, and I think it makes sense.
And Clinton, it's still stunning to me that they punted a year of LeBron last season.
Right.
You get LeBron, and you just whiff on the rest of your roster and landing any other star. And you're just like, oh, well, okay, we'll get him next year. I mean, this is the year for the Lakers.
It was like his gap year,
now.
though. He needed to rest. It was his gap year. He's been recovering.
Gap year.
On that same conference call, which Dave was listening into, Pelinka was asked if he consulted with LeBron James when constructing the roster this summer. Here was his response. "We view our relationships here with our star players as partnerships. I know both Anthony Davis and LeBron are excited about the 14 guys and how we're going to come together. Both of their input has been incredibly valuable to me." Dave, is this common around the league these days?
It's the smart thing to do. Also, he could be a little bit more forthright. We talked to Quinn Cook on a conference call yesterday. Quinn said, hey, LeBron called Rob on my behalf and said, hey, can you take a look at Quinn? We talked to Jared Dudley, and Jared Dudley said, hey, I called LeBron. I said, you want to play with me? That'd be cool. And then LeBron called Rob. So, Rob, you don't have to hide it. Yes.
I don't know if he's hiding it. He's saying, yeah, incredibly valuable.
You can just say that he had a stamp of approval with a big Lakers L on it that he would put in purple ink on the contracts of all these guys.
They got to figure out this chain of command, at least from an outward-facing standpoint, because that's the whole concern people have with the Lakers, is that nobody knows who's calling any shots. And if it's sort of here and there, a little bit of info from one guy versus the other, that's going to fuel the media problem, which is who's really in charge here. Even if LeBron is running the show, Pelinka's got to find a way to communicate that better that at least makes him look a little bit more.
James Harden just traded Chris Paul. This is what happens. The stars
but
control
it's
the
a little
league.
different because of what happened to the actual franchise. You know what I'm saying? When you've got side Rambuses involved that are actually in the conversation, you've got to make sure you got to make sure that when it actually comes down to the basketball, you've got a communication line that people actually understand is real and is actually making sense.
So you've been around Rob Pelinka long enough now and been to enough of his press conferences to speak Pelinka, right? Okay. So him saying that they've been very helpful, that's basically him saying I consulted with LeBron.
Yes.
I mean, that's a lot
sure.
farther than anyone was willing to go last year when everybody kind of ran away from the idea that LeBron consulted on that roster. Because in one sense, it puts LeBron out there. Like, if it doesn't work out the way it didn't work out last year, whose fault is it?
Mm-hmm.
If LeBron had a rubber stamp on all these signings,
That's what I'm saying.
it's kind of on him.
Well, but Magic owned up for all those moves. Now, whether he was the sacrificial lamb on his way out the door or not, he did own up for the moves, for the playmakers, for not listening to Brooke Lopez wanting to come back, for not giving Julius Randle a shot. Magic's kind of owned all of them. Now, whether it was some combination of Magic, LeBron, and Rob, probably more likely that. But at least you can say that Magic was the guy, because Magic said he was the guy.
You guys deal with him a lot more. All I know is that when I hear Rob Pelinka speak or I see the quotes, I go, oh man, my BS detector is just going through the roof. Like, what is this guy talking about? It's just, he speaks like an agent, and that was his former life, understood. But when I hear him talk, I'm going, oh, what?
You just got spoiled by Tibbs all those years.
Oh, yeah, the most forthcoming guy there is.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports analysis and highlights, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.